What's up, guys? Tambo here with your weekly core report. We had some nice hits across sports last week, and an RPS contributors heater continued. Let's get to the winners. We kick things off with NHL, where our content has been producing some big winners, including our own Jared Kimball, who shipped a seat to the DraftKings NHL Live Final. Wire Rich also hit an NHL recently for over $9K. At Rum Pure Sports, our talent roster is loaded with winners. K Falik has been contributing cores to our members since day one and has been on an epic heater recently. K Falik had success in MMA recently, hitting for 10K. In NBA, he has also been crushing on FanDuel, hitting for 20K and then running it back with an 18K shipper, including his first FanDuel NBA Live Final seat. K Falik's NBA core also helped Bogart Jr. ship for 40K on FanDuel. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to catch K Falik every Monday for our free NFL review show. And K Falik wasn't the only one shipping an NBA. Fur PBC hit for $8,400. M Foley 2 turned $51 into 10K. Abrick also hit for 10K. While the biggest winner, Jackson, used C-Dome and Draft Cheats advice on our pre-NBA show to ship for 23K. RPS had a nice showing in the DraftKings NFL Finals this past weekend, with both members and contributors participating in the annual event. Big T and myself hit for 20K. Locks won 50K. D. Kafer hit for 70K. Tiger Ball 23 hit for 100K, while RPS member Mr. Panther had a huge $150,000 day. Our Showdown content has had a ton of success this season and continued in Week 15. Big T nailed his 49ers core as usual, featuring his Guy Kittle in the captain, along with CMC and Brock Purdy. Tony rode this core to an 81K night and was joined by our members. Arha00 hit for 2K. Rip City turned $148 into over 10K. And A. Crowdy turned $34 into over 10K as well. Shout out to our Sunday night crew too for being all over Jahan Dotson in Showdown. And our guy Snyder nailed his Trevor Lawrence call as a guest on our Sunday morning Off the Chalk show.
I really like Trevor Lawrence as a mid-tier QB this week. He's been the third fastest in average time to throw the ball at 2.4 seconds, which is going to be huge against this pass rush, I think.
Congrats again to all our members. If you want to be featured in the core report, drop your winning lineup in the Members Never Win channel in our premium Discord. If you're not a member, join now. You won't find a better value, all sports included, for one low price. While you're watching, hit that like button now. Remember, if you're not winning with us, you're watching us win. Until next time, let's keep running pure.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. NBA Hardwood show. AP, Hoop, myself, breaking down the 7-game slate. Decent slate, I think. A little injury news that we're waiting on, as always. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, had some fun with family and friends. Hoop, I'll throw it over to you first. How was your Christmas? How was your weekend? Big sports weekend, NBA, NFL all weekend. How'd you do in that? Anything the kids got that they absolutely loved? What's going on, Hoop?
Yeah, it was obviously a busy weekend here. We had obviously the slates, the NFL slates, the NBA slates. So those were not NFL didn't go so good for me this week. I'm looking at what's the saying DC always said, that we always have the Showdown slate to get it all back. That's kind of what I'm going for tonight. I was really light on those Rams yesterday. I mean, I like the Big T's thoughts on it on the Showdown show. He's like, if Cam Akers and Higbee are going off, he's like, I'm just losing no matter what. And I was kind of in the same boat. I didn't have much of those guys. Wrote off the Rams. The Broncos, just a complete embarrassment. I'm glad. I mean, they should have fired the coach. With the week 1 decision was a disaster, and everyone kind of got on him. And you're like, all right, well, let's give this guy a little benefit of the doubt and see what he can do. Well, they gave him like 13 weeks of the benefit of the doubt, and he still fucking sucks and makes bad decisions. But again, in his defense, he has Russell Wilson at quarterback, who, I mean, honestly, might when you look at the numbers and everything, has to be like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league this season. So that situation pretty unfortunate. But yeah, we bounced back tonight with a nice little. I like these numbers of games. What do we got? Like 7 games tonight, and then the Showdown slate as well, which I think is very, very interesting. Did the daily assist video earlier, gave my thoughts on that. I listened to the boys 3 p.m. Eastern when they broke it down as well. I think it's very interesting. And I bet on the Chargers, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But man, the Chargers are just a better team no matter where this game goes, no matter how it's played. But they haven't blown anyone out, and they've looked average at best. But I'm on the Chargers big tonight.
Yeah, I mean they're finally healthy. The only thing, are they better at the tight end position with your boy Jelani Woods?
He's got to be like a lock tonight. He's got to be a lock. I hope these ownership numbers on him are accurate, because no one is showing like big ownership on him. I think he's just slam dunk play. So I mean, he treated me right a few weeks ago. I'm going right back to him in a big way here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a fun showdown slate. We were talking a little Tyler Spread and myself on the rundown show. We talk a little showdown at the end. I mean, the Chargers are always fun because you have Herbert, Keenan, Mike Williams, Eckler. Like the captain is way more spread out. Whereas like when a Lamar slate, everyone plays Lamar at captain. I mean, it should be spread out. So should be a fun one. AP, your Chiefs get the win. Keep rolling. Need the 1 seed. How's your Christmas? How's NBA? Aaron Gordon caught a body. Were you watching that game? What's going on?
I think I crashed like right before that game went to OT. So too many beverages, had both nights actually. I mean, always a good time though. Man, those games, I mean, the NBA games were better than the NFL games. That's for sure. I think you guys would all agree with me on that one. The game they should have had is what we're going to get into today. They should have had Nets, Cavs on that Christmas slate. That would have been phenomenal. 2 of the better teams in the East. So, but still, it was a good Christmas slate. I think it went a little bit different than I would have liked to see. I did stack up. So I had one that bubbled, stacked up the Dubs game just because, the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, the Warriors home record, just insane. They're like a different team. They're literally like a playoff team at home and like a team, like literally like a terrible team, like a G League team on the road. It's night and day. But I ran it back with Jaren Jackson, who's a walking foul. Dude is just, I mean, it's insane. Like he cannot not foul people.
When
like I don't.
They
even had like I think they felt bad for him. There was twice where they called it blocks. Like I got lucky. They called it blocks, but it just whacked the guy's head. I mean, it was absolutely insane. But no, I'm man. Christmas was awesome. Excited to be back grinding. Breaking these slates down. So we got a good one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Jaren Jackson, I was watching with a couple buddies. I'm like, this dude's going to have 4 fouls before you even know it. I think 10 minutes in, he picked up his first one, like 15 seconds in the second half, way away from the basket. I mean,
he's good, man. I think he could be awesome. He's got to figure the foul thing out. It's ridiculous. Like you can't just career. It's crazy.
I mean, if they want to have a chance to win anything, he needs to be on the court. There's no doubt about that. But it's always been the problem with them. It's always a tough roster. You play him, I mean, and he doesn't get in foul trouble. Yeah, he's smashing for 50. You play him you play him, he gets in foul trouble, he gets you 8. So that's the ultimate GPP play. We don't have to worry about that game though. Let's say hi to a couple people in chat before we go and break down all this slate. Pair by in here: Vinny, Dr. Lucky, Richie Smalls, Apone, Drew Carpenter, Colin T, Hammer, Mike Carr, Chris Myers, Beat Boz, Kidlin. Who else we got here? Nadesify. What's going on, Nadesify? Coach, appreciate all of you hanging out with us. All we ask for is that like button and big red subscribe button from you. We appreciate it. Hope all of you had a Merry Christmas. New Year coming up. A lot of people probably off for work. A lot of money to be made tonight. These 7 NBA games, big prize pools, then Showdown as well. So if you didn't check out the Showdown content after this show, check out Hoop's Daily Assist video. Check out the guys that broke down the slate. We'll talk NBA though. We have the Up to Lock NBA show. As always, if you're not a member, head to Run Pure Sports. You do need to be a premium member to see the premium show, to see AP's heat map, core plays, cast chart, all of that good stuff. So head to Run Pure Sports. Check it out. Let's get into it though. Vinny, what's going on? Brittany, what's going on? 7-game slate. We'll start with the first game of the night though. Actually, I'll say how they're broken down. So we have 2 games at 7 p.m. Eastern. 1 game at 7:30 with Jimmy Butler questionable, which is the big news. Then we got 3 8 p.m. Eastern games and then 1 on an island at 10 p.m. Eastern. So that is how the 7 games are broken down 4 times. Let's get to the first game of the night, though. Brooklyn Nets, Cleveland Cavaliers, 221 total. Cleveland is favored by 2. On the Brooklyn side, Seth Curry is out. Joe Harris still out. As far as Cleveland, Dean Wade, Windler, not too much injury news in this game. AP, you hinted at it. You wanted this game on the Christmas slate. Should be a good real-life basketball game. If you have interest in it for DFS.
So I'm starting to, and the reason is because Joe Harris out and now Seth Curry out, 2 key rotational players, which should help to tighten up the rotation here. It should be a back and forth, nice competitive game here. Obviously the Cavs, a defensive minded team, but still, man, like the one problem with the Nets right now is they keep blowing teams out. They're playing good basketball. Like Kevin Durant has been extremely efficient. He's been incredible. Ben Simmons is playing some phenomenal basketball right now too. I played him that last game against your Bucks title. Ben Simmons was like 0.9% owned and just like absolutely crushed. He's cheap. And obviously people are worried about the minutes, rotation, and all of that. And he's not like a scorer or anything like that, but you got to say, like, he's playing good basketball right now, which is, I think, something that we all thought would happen during the regular season. The true test is going to be, can he do it in the playoffs? Hasn't been able to do that in the playoffs. But man, the Nets, they look phenomenal right now. The Cavs also look phenomenal too, but they are coming off a loss against the Raptors. So I like the Nets here, man. The problem is KD 10-5, Kyrie. I think Kyrie probably a little bit more in play than KD. I think Ben Simmons in tournaments. But with these rotational guys out, with Curry out, with Joe Harris out, I think Kevin Durant's going to have to take on more of the scoring. I think Kyrie is going to have to take on more of the scoring. And we're going to have a ton of value on the slate. So, I don't think, pricing is going to matter too much. I think you're going to be able to play whoever you want with the Pell situation and the value that's going to free up everything. So, Kevin Durant, you don't need, normally on a slate, you might need 58, 60 plus from him to justify paying that tag. I don't know if that's going to be the case on this slate. So, I think Kevin Durant, elite tournament play. I think Kyrie Irving, a really strong tournament play. KD, the one thing too is when you think about the Cavs and attacking this team, very, very difficult to do with Mobley and Allen there protecting the rim. KD, mid-range guy, he can get it done so many different ways. So I'm not as worried from a matchup standpoint with him. And then on the other side of this game, if it's competitive, if it's back and forth, and if the Cavs are to get a win here, I think you're going to need to see monster games on the other side of it. I think Donovan Mitchell, obviously, going to have a monster game. I think Evan Mobley, he's been, if you just pull up his box score, he hasn't been that productive. But in games like this where he's needed, in a 6,100 price tag, I think he has 40 written all over him today. So I think he's 40 DraftKings points, not real points. So I think he's a phenomenal play on DraftKings at that discounted price. I think Darius Garland, he's been balling. I think he's in play. I want all the studs in this game. There's a couple games I think you can fully stack up just betting on a very competitive environment. I think this is one of them. And then I think another one is obviously the late game hammer, which we'll talk about in the Hornets and Blazers. But title, just to wrap it up, man, I think there are better spots on the slate, but in tournaments, I have a ton of interest in this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low on the Jared Allen and Mobley price tag stuck out to me. But man, Mobley, 3 of his last 4 games, usage rate under 15, the other one 19. I'm just concerned. The price tag looks so good. Is it going to be normal Mobley? He has a rebounding upside, double upside. I just want him to shoot a little more than he has been recently, but 6.1K definitely is intriguing. I think the Brooklyn side's definitely going to be low owned. I'd probably say Kyrie's my favorite. Anyone out there that loves saying revenge, yeah, you get him against Cleveland, but the price tag, I'll just take the 2K savings from KD. Don't think it's a game too many people go to, though. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, the Cavs are just a tough team for fantasy purposes, not only for themselves, but the opponents. They play solid defense. Mobley and Allen are solid defenders. it just makes it tough. I mean, if you're going to the Nets, guys, for me, I just don't think you can play any of these secondary pieces. It's either going to be Kevin Durant, it's going to be Irving. And the best point that one of you guys brought up was that we're going to have all the value in the world. So if you want to play the studs, you're going to be able to play the studs. We have some cheap plays on the slate that make it very, very easy to play the studs. So I don't mind getting exposure to Kyrie and Durant, especially if you're doing 150 lineups tonight. If you're only doing a few, though, it is, I don't think they're like screaming, all right, good value by any means, but 150 lineups or even, anything 40 or 50 and above. Yeah, I'd get some exposure to these guys. The price on Kyrie is good. 8.5K, I think is very, very fair. I'd probably prefer him. If you want one of these guys, it'd probably be Kyrie over Durant. For me, you're saving $2,000, and really they have similar upside. Obviously, Durant more stable in his production. The Cavs side, yeah, it's tough. I mean, the price tags are looking nice though. I mean, Evan Mobley now at 6.1K. That's a good price tag for Evan Mobley, but like you said, the usage rate super, super low lately. The fantasy production has kind of fallen off in his last 3, 26, 15, and then 25. Still take a chance on him though at 6.1K. Jared Allen 6.4K, fine with him. I think he definitely has 40 fantasy point upside, which is what you're looking for. But that would really be it for me on the Cleveland side. So 2 plays on each side for me. It's the studs on the Nets, Kyrie and Durant, only if if you're building a lot of lineups. And then on the Cavs side, I'm fine mixing in Mobley and Allen, where if they get 40, like you take that. I mean, they're priced now where 40 is
big time,
enough to potentially win GPPs.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
Hey, Tato, real quick, I meant to mention it, but TJ Warren off the bench now for the Nets. He's been balling. He's been very productive in his off the bench role as a value piece. Sure, there's going to be value better later potentially, but man, he's been playing good basketball. So he's one value that I think is okay in tournaments at 3.8K.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, especially on this slate with where all the value is, it's pretty obvious value. I think he's going to be very low owned. Yeah, he'll play low 20s minutes, but he comes in, usage rate 23, 24 the past 2 games, grabs rebounds, can get assists. He's just active when he's out there, which you want. So don't mind that call from very low ownership. Being there in chat, he said, you need a tan title. Yeah, I'm back in Wisconsin. I wasn't able to bring my lights, and you definitely notice a big difference looking at AP and Hoop in their setup with the nice lights and stuff. Not as good over here. It's going to get dark here pretty soon too. So hopefully I don't go dark on us like C-Dome. I don't have the C-Dome background, the nice sunset that I can show you when he was going dark.
You messaged me earlier and said you're relocating. I said, well, make sure you take that lamp with you. So we had a nice little funny back and forth there. The lamp you had, I believe it was last week.
Yep. Yeah, the lamps at home. I mean, yeah, the outage, Wi-Fi outage back at parents' house. Went to the grandparents' house, got some lamps around me, but could be a little dark. FYI, do I need a tan? Yeah, I wish it was summer. I can get a little tan. It's a little too chilly for that right now. Being there. Who else we got? Nice call. Coach likes your call with TJ. And yeah, Chris Myers. If I'm talking about Kyrie's revenge, I do have to say Jared Allen, of course, too. Played for Brooklyn. If you do like the revenge, you can go a little Kyrie, Jared Allen revenge mini stack if you want to go that way. But that's the first game of the night, Brooklyn and Cleveland. Don't think you don't need too much in that game. I think you're fine if you have nobody in that first game, but I think there are some pieces that these guys did talk about. Let's get to the next game, second of 2 that starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Clippers, Detroit Pistons, 223.5 total. Clippers are favored by 5.5. John Wall is questionable for the Clippers. Kawhi is out. Going to the Detroit side, Marvin Bagley is questionable. Hoop, it's your Detroit Pistons. Talk about this game. Any interest for you?
Yeah, they're obviously a tough team right now for fantasy purposes. I mean, they're just, not very good, obviously. But the prices have come down like a little bit. Bogdanovich was a guy I played a lot of early on in the season. The price is down to 6.1K. We haven't seen the upside recently, but again, he's a guy that fits DraftKings scoring pretty well with the 3-pointers and whatnot. So I'd be interested in him at 6.1. Again, these aren't like core plays or anything, but guys that I want to mix in. And then Jaden Ivey as well. I think that's a good price tag for him at 5.5K. So those are really the only 2 guys on the Pistons side that I'm interested in. And then on the Clippers, Paul George, I think is a fine option. 9K. I think it's a very fair price tag for him. A little cheaper than some of the other studs. I like the 9K price tag on Paul George. And then maybe a little bit of Marcus Morris. I mean, maybe he's more of like a cash game play, I guess. I mean, the upside is really not there with him, but he's going to play a lot of minutes. He'll kind of shoot, quite a bit. So 5.7K, I think he's a fair option. Maybe not the upside though to win tournaments. These first two games, I definitely think are fadeable. If there's news you're waiting on and you don't want to lock anyone in, I would definitely wait. There's nothing in these first two games that stands out as must plays or core plays or anything like that for me. It's just guys to mix in MME, and in this game it would be Paul George, it would be Jaden Ivey, and it would be Bogdanovich. But again, no plays for me, no core plays for me in these first two games.
Yeah, I think ownership is kind of going to reflect that as well. Paul George, I think some people go to him as a spend up. No Kawhi, 9K, good price tag. AP, how does he rank amongst the spend ups on the slate? Anything you see in this game? I think it's pretty low on.
Yeah, I think Paul George with Kawhi out is going to grade out very well when you're looking at projections, when you look at matchup, just against opposing guards, wings. I mean, Detroit's been very bad, ranking 28th. I mean, we've seen guys absolutely crush in the spot against them. So I think Paul George is really fine. I think it's just like Ty Lue in some of these rotations at times with the Clippers. Like they're a frustrating team to target at times, but no Leonard in there. Paul George, 9K price tag in a favorable. I think it's a good matchup. Like as long as Detroit can keep it somewhat close, you're good. Now the problem, man, like Norman Powell, I don't think he's in play. Maybe like deep tournaments, like if you're running 150, but you're starting to see some good bench pieces here. And so if the Clippers, blow out the Pistons, which I think is definitely possible here tonight, that would be my only concern. Jaden Ivey, I've been playing him a lot. When he was 4.8K, I said that was going to be the lowest price tag that we see on him all season long, and he's been balling. The problem is Dwayne Casey's rotations, and on this slate, if you pull up the heat map, if you're a member over here at Run Pure Sports, you can see the slate is loaded with point guard plays and shooting guard plays, and actually centers. So it's like crazy. You have all of these elite guards and then elite centers potentially tonight. So it's going to make roster construction really interesting. Zubac, he played 33 minutes against Philly, obviously matching up against Embiid. Only 22 minutes against the Hornets before that. I would say maybe in tournaments as a deep play. Like I think he's a guy they could go to against Duren here, attacking Pistons in the paint. But my only concern with going that route is, one, we have a ton of centers in play, news yet to hit that we're going to want to wait for. And two, it's like, man, they don't like running the offense through him at all. It's going to run through Paul George. So I don't know. To sum it up, I do think Paul George is a potential core play to build around. But outside of him, I do agree with Hoop, man. Like I don't see anyone else as like a lock or someone that you have to build around in this game specifically tonight.
Yeah, you said
just one more thing. Marcus Morris, better price tag on FanDuel. I just pulled it up. He's only 5.1K on FanDuel, small forward and power forward. I do actually like that price. I think, if he gets into the 30s, which is realistic, you take that at 5.1K. So I do like his price tag over there better than the 5.7 on DK. And
just what Landa said too, and AP touched on it as well. AP said point guard, shooting guard loaded, center loaded, power forward position is not great. Yep. Landa said even on FanDuel.
It's a flow chart play too. So we've been talking about that a lot in Discord. So power forwards have been like John Collins. He went up 34. Jared Vanderbilt 48. KD smashed. Jaren Jackson smashed. Yeah. So I mean, it's a flow chart play too. So I kind of like that call.
Yeah, power forward is very bad on DraftKings. There is just it's
both
rough,
sites. It's pretty rough. Yeah, the guard.
It's a good call by Landa for sure.
Yeah, and AP mentioned the heat map that he was talking about. You do have to be a member for it, but it's very easy to pull up. Color coded, awesome. Glock does the FanDuel one. AP does the DK. So it should be the first thing you really look at. Very easy to read. See the injury news. Hit cash charts. See where the most popular plays are. Big T's player pool is always up there. Core plays, playbook, all of that. So, and if you do become a member, if you do join Run Pure Sports, make sure you get in the Discord. You can get all your questions answered, bounce ideas off people, very knowledgeable members and coordinators talking sports pretty much at all hours of the day. So how to Run Pure Sports, check that out. Like button, subscribe button. We appreciate it. Drew Carpenter said, Marcus Morris revenge too. A lot of revenge we're talking about in these early games. But man, the first 2 games at 7 p.m. Eastern, I don't expect too much ownership to be on them. The later games are definitely better, but picking out a piece here or there, I think makes some sense at lower ownership. Let's continue on to the next game on the slate, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Timberwolves, Miami Heat, 221.5 total. Miami is favored by 1.5. On the Minnesota side, Kyle Anderson is questionable. Jordan McLaughlin is out. Towns is still out as well, of course. As far as the Miami side, Bam is out. Dwayne Dedmon is out. Jimmy Butler is questionable. Gabe Vincent is questionable. And then, Udonis Haslem is questionable too, which means absolutely nothing. But yeah, Jimmy and Vincent, obviously Jimmy Butler, the big news for this. Already without Bam. I mean, Jimmy Butler gets ruled out. Load up on the Heat. Your boy Kyle Lowry, you love playing him. Break down this game, Jimmy in, Jimmy out, what that means, and do you like anyone on the other side?
Yeah, so I mean, as it stands now, this Orlando Robinson is a play at 3.2K. I mean, he'll have to start here and probably get solid minutes. So I think, no matter what, he's a good play. Jimmy Butler, if he's in, probably in play on DK because of the position. The position is not great. You're going to have to fill it with somebody. Don't love the 9.4 price tag, but I do like this matchup for sure. So if he's in play, and that's kind of where it would stop for me on the Miami side if he's in. Now, if he's out, Tyler Hero is now priced up at 9.1K, but man, he definitely has the upside to pay it off with Jimmy out, and then Kyle Lowry at 6'6". I mean, you definitely don't need to twist my arm to play him at 6'6" with Jimmy Butler up. So the if then for me is Robinson no matter what. If Jimmy Butler's in, he's in play because power forward sucks. If he's out, I'd look at Hero and definitely Kyle Lowry at 6'6". On the Minnesota side, kind of getting healthy here, obviously, and these guys are priced pretty full, and the matchup is not great against the Miami Heat team that actually plays, pretty solid defense. I guess for me, if I'm playing anyone on the Minnesota side, I guess it would just be Gobert at 7K. I hope he beats up on Orlando Robinson. I mean, you're getting a lot of minutes. I mean, he's returned and played 36 minutes, had a 46 fantasy point game. So there is upside to pay off the 7K. But I don't think I'll really get to Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell in this spot. So, Gobert on the Minnesota side, and then the Miami side kind of dependent on Jimmy Butler news.
Yep, good breakdown there. Nick and Chad said Jovic could easily start at center. I mean, it looks like Orlando Robinson's ahead of him in the rotation now. He's been playing more minutes. What's his name? Jovic hasn't played in a couple games now, but you'll get the starting lineup. Well, the game's at 7:30. We expect to get it right around 7, hopefully get it a little before, but just play the starter at the end of the day. If Jovic starts, he'd be a lot better play than Orlando Robinson. Vice versa, if Orlando Robinson starts like we think, and then he's a better play, and I would not touch Jovic there. You mentioned Tyler Hero. Yeah, man, that price tag is way up there, but it's definitely warranted. These Wisco guards, Jordan Poole, Tyrese, Tyler Hero, they're actually playing good basketball, which is good to see. AP, if then scenarios with Jimmy Butler, does Kyle Anderson, slow-mo injury news do anything? He's questionable. Break down this game for us.
Yeah, I mean, one, yeah, we got to keep an eye on Jimmy Butler. We've seen it though. If he misses Kyle Lowry, he's gotten it done. I think it was against Detroit though, where Kyle Lowry plus a bunch of scrubs went in and got it done. I forget what team it was, but no, I mean, he would definitely be more in play. That's just a spot where we got to wait on the news. I do think it's going to be Robinson over Jovic though. Jovic just probably not ready yet. I mean, man, he hasn't been that good. I think he had one good game. I actually have some interest in Anthony Edwards here with Bam Adebayo out. Man, there's going to be no rim protection. The only problem is spacing with Gobert out there is always a little awkward, but on offense, you can manage that a little bit more. But with Bam out, I do think that increases my interest in a guy like Anthony Edwards. D'Lo, I said it. Like tournaments, if you're multi-entering, yeah, you want to take a shot on him, yeah, you could do that. But we're going to have many other better point guard plays on this slate. So I'm not going to be on D'Lo. I love Edwards, though, because we can play him at that small forward position, which I think is going to be key on this slate. So for me, I have him tagged as a really strong tournament play just because he's shown us like massive upside, especially in these spots where, he can get to the rim. So Edwards for the Wolves, I'm probably not touching Gobert. I do think with Bam out, it is an easier matchup. I mean, I don't know. I hate Gobert, man. He's so frustrating.
He feels like you either get 20 from him or you get 55 from him. It feels like there's no in between.
Yeah, you need one of those games where you can rack up blocks and stuff. And who knows? I don't know if I'm seeing it here with this Miami Heat team. So I'm probably underweight on Rudy Gobert, but he is another center that, due to his low price tag, is someone in play. Doesn't have to deal with Bam. Maybe get some easy putbacks. And then on the other side, yeah, if Jimmy's in, I think he's an interesting play. He's another one of those spend ups. He's at the power forward position, which we've all admitted that's not good. So if you jam in a value piece at your point guard position, maybe a value at center, and which allows you to spend up at your power forward position, not having to punt. Maybe that's how you create some separation there in tournaments. So Jimmy Butler would be someone I would have interest in if he plays. And if he's out, yeah, I'd look at Kyle Lowry. Tyler Hero, man, it's just for a guy that you need at 9-1, we need like probably 38 real points from him, because he doesn't get the peripherals, maybe 40. His game, he had 40. I think he only put up 55 DK points. So that would be my one concern, paying 9.1K for Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels crazy seeing Hero at 9-1, but it definitely is warranted. I had two questions first of all, we're talking revenge. I mean, that's the story of the show, I guess. Jimmy Butler. Everyone knows Jimmy back in Minnesota. He's dogging the starters with all the backups and stuff like that. He plays, maybe a little revenge on his mind. AP, though, two names people were talking about in chat for you. Jalen Noel, coach asks, and then Highsmith, Steven asks. Any takes on them?
Yeah, we're just going to have better plays, I think, on the slate. Jalen Noel kind of struggling with the shot. He's another guy. He's a volume guy that comes off the bench, and his rotation can get cut short if he's not hitting his shots, and he's kind of struggling with the shot right now. So, again, it's one of those things, like, if you're multi-entering, yeah, you can include him in the pool. Like, if I'm building 3 lineups, definitely no way I'm playing Jalen Noel.
Man, going to chats of the Heat hate Jovic. Yeah, it looks like they do. That's for sure. Again, if he starts, you can definitely play. I mean, he'd be a great play if he starts, but if he doesn't start, I wouldn't touch him personally. Yeah, this is.
I mean, like, they hate him. What are you talking about? He just hasn't been that good. I don't know. I mean, it's hating someone, or it's just he has development to do. So I don't think it's they hate him.
Yeah, I do have something to bring up though that I just saw. What, Tua concussion protocol? When did he get another concussion? I mean, man, he's had so many that's very scary, but
he looked like complete fucking dog shit in the second. I mean, that was bad. Like, that was so bad in that game.
He must have got concussed in the second quarter and came back out and been seeing 5 or something. If that's what's going on.
Maybe it is legit and makes sense because he was awful in that game. But your Packers benefit.
The Packers did benefit. It's getting the guy went out the next 2 games at Lambeau, Vikings and Lions. Your Lions, it could come down to
man.
My stepdad's a Lions fan.
Is he? Yeah, I mean, I'm just obviously a Lions hater, but I tweeted out last week I'm starting to believe a little bit, and then look what happens. They get smoked by the
Packers. They got smoked.
Yeah. Well, they're so used to in the dome. You go to a little chilly weather and you just get the ball run down your throat.
Yeah. I stacked that game up so hard, but I did not have any of the running backs on I did not. I stacked that game up really hard. It was frustrating. It was definitely frustrating.
Yeah, Robert Tua should be out for the year then. Yeah, if he has a concussion, there's no chance that dude should play football for a little while. That's scary. But the Packers, it'll be a close one. Vikings, and are you going to get to? You're probably not going to get to Lambeau. I asked if it was Vikings in line, or if it was Lions Packers to get to the playoffs. Yeah, not on Sunday.
You think you're not getting hoopster to an NFL game outdoors probably ever, especially when it's like freezing temperatures.
I'm the same. I'd go to a Bills game just once, only one time, just because I heard it's just crazy.
I hate going to NFL. I mean, we went to that Thanksgiving Day game. That was sweet. I had a lot of fun doing that just because it was like off the main slate. Thanksgiving Day is pretty cool, but we all know how that one ended. I retold the story as well. Got Raiders drunk fans trying to fight us in the concourse, and with kids. I mean, Title was holding the kids' hands, trying to get them out of there. It was it was chaos.
It was a mess. But no, I'm with you. I mean, my buddy, he's like, you want to go to the Vikings game this week at Lambeau, 3:20? I'm like, it's Sunday. Why would I can't go to a football game. The only game I can go to, it has to be prime time. Monday night, Sunday night's even cutting it close to Thursday night games. I mean, DFS, I like 5 TVs in front of me, hanging out with buddies, the food and all. I mean, that's how I like watching it. But yeah, it should be fun these next 2 weeks. That's for sure. That's enough football though. I mean, hopefully Tua is all right. He played awful, but concussion, that was not good to see. Did not expect seeing that either. But let's get to the next game on the slate at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs, 236 total. Going to 236 total. Utah's favored by 4.5. Kelly Olynyk's out for Utah. The Spurs are healthy. I mean, AP, 2 teams that are healthy, which is the first thing we always look at in DFS. But man, pretty close spread, a big total. Can you find pieces in this one?
Yeah, I mean, another flowchart play is point guards against the Spurs. And we saw it tilted me the other slate. When I played Simmons, I also played Markelle Fultz on his way to an easy triple-double. He was like a few peripheral stats away in just 22 minutes of play. And then Cole Anthony also nuked, and Markelle Fultz never got back into the game. Very frustrating. But we look at this. We got Mike Conley. I like there's certain rules with the flow chart. Like the flow chart can only it only applies in certain situations. I think Mike Conley himself negates this situation. I don't know if I can get there. Like I can't tell you the last time I played Mike Conley. Just sounds absolutely gross of the idea of playing him. And he's not like he's not getting over 30 minutes. He's not just producing. It's just that price tag in the matchup kind of makes him interesting, but I don't think I can get there. Jordan Clarkson, I mean, man, anytime he gets the ball right now, he's chucking. So I think he's in play, 6,800, a fine price tag. But again, I worry about the rotations in this game. So title, kind of to make it easy, I'm not like forcing anyone in here. It's all tournament plays in this game. I really would like to limit my exposure to it. Like I could see this game going over the 236 total. I definitely could. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a good game for fantasy just due to rotations. Like Pop, I don't trust. Don't trust him at all. With Keldon Johnson and Vassell in there, I'm not going there. I can easily move off of them. Pirtle, don't trust the rotation there. Zach Collins has been good off the bench. So those two are basically splitting minutes right now. So yeah, Spurs, full fade for me. And then the Jazz, I mean, man, like maybe in tournaments, Vanderbilt, just because like he has these games where he breaks the slate and no one plays him. He's always very low owned. And then Lauri Markkanen, you can make the same case. I just don't know if I'm going to get there.
So have you been, so you're doing what, 50 teams for a little while, AP? Are you doing single entry now, 50?
I'm doing usually 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
The MME, yeah. Okay. The heat map gets updated all the way up to lock, and just it's very tough to manage that. And my own stuff, very easy to manage, like 3 lineups. So that's just what I'm sticking to.
The reason I asked was because, like you said, you don't love this game too much. You don't want to go overboard. In Sabre, would you go make a rule like max 1 Spur, max 1? Like, would you do that, or you just? Yeah,
I do an easy, simple rule. Yeah, just one max from each side. That'd be a way just to kind of create some rules to limit how much exposure you're getting to this game.
Yep, absolutely. What are your thoughts on this one?
Trying to get my dinner order in here with the wife. They're getting
what's on tap tonight?
Mod pizza. You ever had mod pizza?
I have not, but I've seen. I haven't, but I've seen it all over the place. Pretty good.
Yeah,
stuff.
It's pretty good. The kids like it, so I'm gonna get myself a little barbecue chicken pizza for dinner.
I got ribs on tap. Parents got pizza. Damn. My grandparents making ribs. I'm excited for that.
Actually, I got a great story about dinner real fast that AP will appreciate. So yesterday I took. Do you remember the steaks that you sent?
Oh yeah.
I still have some.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So I've been picking and choosing my spots to use them. So I took them for Christmas yesterday. I had 3 ribeyes left, and we didn't end up cooking them. So my father-in-law was just texting me saying, "Can I cook these tonight? Or can you come over tomorrow?" I said, no, you're not cooking those without me. I said, your ass is waiting until tomorrow. So we're going to fire those things up tomorrow. Not much for me in this game. The last 3 games, very appealing from a fantasy perspective. We'll get into it for sure. A lot of plays for me in the last 3 games. This game, it's going to be a cross-off for me, and I'm not messing with the Spurs. I don't give a shit. If the Spurs beat me on a slate, they beat me. I'm cool with that. Mike Conley at 5K. maybe a MME type play. Same with Jordan Clarkson, but there's not much. I mean, there's center is so loaded on the slate. Like even like Walker Kessler can't really get into him too much. This game, not much here.
Who do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yeah, I'll eat it. My wife does. She always gets the actually just like pineapple and cheese. She loves it. My daughter loves it. So I'm fine with it. It's not like if I'm gonna order a pizza, it's not like the number one topping for me. Let's put it that way.
Beaner said you're minus 5,000 for that. Buffalo chicken people, barbecue chicken pizza. Goat Hammer said, wait,
Yeah.
what? AP, what's your favorite pizza?
Pepperoni. Always my
Straight up
go-to.
pepperoni.
You get as
Wow.
basic as it gets,
Yeah.
just pepperoni.
That's always
I
my
love
go-to. Yeah.
I love the meat lover stuff too. I'll get anything
yeah.
meat I'm good with. I love it.
True, like New York style too, like like thin crust, just cooked in one of those really high heat ovens. That's how it has to be.
Nothing wrong with that. Someone in chat asked about Sokan. I think Jeremy Sokan's interesting. Last 2 games, 31, 25 minutes, shot the ball 14 times. The usage just kept going up. I think Sokan is an interesting play today. We're talking about the weak position, power forward. He's shooting the ball. He's growing in confidence. He rebounds the ball well, getting some assists. I do like Jeremy Sokan for someone who has.
I agree with that, but just be prepared. You could easily get like a 10 to 14 from him. Like it's just what Pop does. It's like part of the frustrating part about rostering Spurs. So good play, but there's a lot of risk there, I think.
Yeah, you can always get Pop for sure, but the ownership I think is going to be pretty low. I'll ride the hot streak, right? I mean, he would be an idiot not to play him after what he's been doing. He's growing in confidence, can fill out the stat sheet. I think Sokan makes some sense. Being there, yeah, that sounds like an interesting pizza. Bacon on pizza is the way to go. I mean, I like bacon, so I would never say no to that. Bacon, chicken,
Bacon's
sure.
good. Yeah,
bacon on
good
anything
on
is good, man.
Yeah.
Like what is bacon not good on?
That's what I mean.
A lot of the barbecue chicken pizzas, they'll do the bacon on there as one of the toppings, and it's a tasty combination for sure.
Taco pizza, yep. Sure, mac and cheese
taco.
pizza.
Actually,
I'll do any of that.
Taco pizza is good. That's a really good one. That's a good call.
Pizza in general. Oh yeah. That's making me hungry though. Big T, you like pizza. JS, everyone likes pizza, I think, but JSU. That's one of the few tough takes from JSU, the pizza one, but he picks winners. That's all that matters. Let's get to the next game on the slate though. We got 3 games left, and as Hoop mentioned, these next 3 games are, I think, where a lot of ownership's going to go. A lot of strong plays. The Houston Rockets, Chicago Bulls, 230.5 total. Chicago is favored by 7.5. On the Houston side, Jayshawn Tate's still out. Eric Gordon's going to play. For Chicago, Javonte Green is questionable. Caruso is out. Derek Jones Jr. is doubtful. Pretty big total in this one. We like picking on the Rockets. Hoop, I think Vooch is a decent play. There's DeMar, there's Levine, there's Io. I mean, I think there's a lot of good plays. Chicago looks like the more interesting side. Can you pick any? But I think there are some plays for Houston. Break down this one for us.
Yeah, I mean, the Houston guys, I just have not been playing all that often, and I feel fine with it. I mean, yeah, Kevin Porter is going to have those big games that pound you. Same with like Jalen Green. I'd probably go Green over Porter if you're deciding between a piece. Jabari Smith, just because power forward, we talked about it, is not great. I think he's in play. He'd probably be my preferred Rocket because power forward, again, is not very strong. If you like Porter or Green, that's fine. I just really don't play a lot of those guys. On the Bull side, though, is where I want a lot of exposure. I mean, you know what you're getting with these guys. Tons of minutes, tons of usage. DeMar DeRozan is power forward eligible, which I really, really like on DraftKings. Vucevic at 7.5K, I think is a really good price tag for him. We talked about, I believe, I don't know what show it was, maybe Thursday or something, Wednesday, but the production's starting to be there. That nice floor that we could always trust in from Vooch is kind of starting to come back a little bit. We've seen 47, 50, 36, 43. It's a really good spot for him. I really like DeRozan, like I talked about, and then Levine. I really like Levine tonight. Good price tag, 7.6 on DK, like 7.4 on FanDuel. If you're into setting rules when you build teams, I want at least, one Chicago Bulls guy on my team. Like there's just no way one of these guys doesn't go off. I'm good with multiple Bulls guys, but I definitely want exposure to the Bulls tonight in this spot at home against Houston. They're projected to score $120. I think it's a really good spot. You're getting a very consolidated condensed group here of guys in terms of the production. Patrick Williams, I'm fine with, and Desumo, or however you pronounce his name, I'm good with him too at 4K on DraftKings. I want a lot of Bulls tonight. I think they go off. The prices are all fair. I mean, no, you're not paying really a premium for anyone. DeRozan the most expensive, but again, he's at a position I don't love, so he actually might end up being like my favorite Bull. Want a lot of these guys tonight.
Big T in chat. I missed him. He said Thin Pep and Meat Lovers is the nut. AP knows. Yeah, I mean, Meat Lovers is definitely not. Space Cowboy, if you're watching, Big T's boy, the pizza guy. He's got some great pizza. Always hooks us up. Meat Lovers can never go wrong. That's for sure. AP,
yeah, thin pizza is the way to go. Another thing I've been doing lately, because I get the heartburn and acid reflux from red sauce, light sauce. Light sauce is a key move as well.
I like the white sauce. I was just telling Bean there in there. I love the white sauce for sure.
White sauce. What do you? I said light.
You said light. I knew you said light. I like the white sauce. Yeah, the white. You get
like Alfredo sauce. Like on it?
It's kind of like that. I mean,
really?
I just say white sauce. Usually it's red sauce or white sauce. Yeah, I like white sauce.
I might have to look into that. That's a good call.
You know, we're getting old when we're talking about acid reflux.
Yeah,
it is the worst, man. It's brutal.
And it's bad. Yeah, and Jimmy Butler's out too, so that good timing on that.
Man,
Jimmy Butler's out. Gabe Vincent in. Bagley out. Jimmy out. So yeah, and hopefully we get starters pretty soon. Man, that's so here.
Yeah, we can visit that at the end.
Yeah. We'll touch
starters.
Yeah, we'll touch on what that does at the end. AP Bulls, Houston. You like the Bulls side more? What you see in this one?
Yeah, I mean, from a projection standpoint, you know, the Bulls side obviously looks good. We can play. So, like, man, another flowchart play. Guards, point guards mainly against the Rockets have just printed wings too, which puts DeRozan right in play. They're terrible against small forwards. Ranking 30th and the 29th against opposing point guards. The one thing that man, Vucevic, easy full fade for me tonight. Now he is a guy that can get it done if he's hitting his threes, but these bigs have been one of the worst. Like playing bigs against the Rockets has been one of the worst things that you could do, like almost all season, and mainly because Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr. constantly just trying to get to the rim. They create a lot of fouls. They make it really tough on these bigs. Then you got Şengün down there too, kind of just flailing around and stuff. And so I'm going to be off Vucevic. I do have a ton of interest in DeMar DeRozan and then Ayo Dosunmu. But I'm going to, like, with these Bulls, I want to capture all the upside I can. So, like, this is where I would consider a rule if I'm multi-entering, to where if I'm playing Ayo, I only want, like, DeMar with them, or I want Zach LaVine with them. I don't want to play Zach LaVine and DeMar together. So I just want one guy. I want to capture all of that upside and then move on. I think I'd almost, like, instead of playing LaVine, the way to get different is play a run back with Jalen Green. Like Hoop said, the guy, I mean, he can bust your lineups for sure, but he has the ability to go off too. And we're not afraid of, like, this is a matchup that I think is definitely attackable. Like, we're not afraid of Vucevic down in the paint. So I think it's one of Jalen Green or Kevin Porter Jr. could go off. Şengün, man, I can't. I don't know about you guys, but like this guy. It's always painful when I play him. I know he has those big games in him, but they don't come when I roster him. And there's other better centers on this slate, so I'm going to be off Şengün. The Jabari Smith call I think is pretty interesting too. He's been balling, and power forward spot is a weak position on the slate, so I think you can go there. But for me, DeMar DeRozan, definitely one of the top spends tonight. And then Ayo, I think I have a ton of interest in him. Yeah, you know, so just with the guard rotation here, he's played 32 minutes the last two games. Not the best fantasy producer when he's out there, but when you factor in the matchup and his low price tag, I think he makes for a really good play.
Yeah, I like it. These last three games are good. I think Chicago side gets a lot more exposed, or a lot more ownership in this game. Strong plays there. I do like what you said. So would you make a rule? You said one of DeRozan and LaVine. Would you throw? I would make like a group with three of them, just because there's so many other plays on the slate. I think one, like, unless this game gets to OT, which could definitely happen, or the environment, the pace is just really, really good, you could play them all. It's just when I ran the Opto early this morning, just in cash settings, literally my lineups were getting like 5 Bulls. So I knew they're going to be popular. I just want to separate it out a little bit, try to capture the individual upside.
that like a DeMar DeRozan brings.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. There's a lot of, I think, interesting spend ups. Now Jimmy Butler's out, so Heat are going to get a lot more popular. Maybe some Bulls.
What a pussy too. Like, what happened to like Heat culture? Like next man up, like work hard, like play. Like this dude's out more than anyone. It's like crazy. Like it's insane.
Yeah, it's been tough scenes recently, but
when he doesn't watch the show because he kicked my ass. But
yeah, at least he added that part just in case. Yeah, we got 2 games left on the slate. 600 watching, 157 likes. Haven't asked much. Let's get 300 though. 2 games left. A lot to talk about in both of them. Let's make a push. All we ask: big like button, big red subscribe button. We always do appreciate it. 2 games left on this slate, though. Ownership, I think, especially in this next game, a lot of value in this one. Indiana Pacers, New Orleans Pelicans, 234 total. Pelicans are favored by 2.5. On the Indy side, Aaron Nesmith, Jalen Smith is questionable. For the Pelicans, it's a lot going on right here. Zion is doubtful. Brandon Ingram's still out. Herb Jones is out. Trey Murphy is questionable. Larry Nance is questionable. Dyson Daniels is questionable. I mean, man, somehow let's just say all the questionable tags are out. They're going to have very little bodies. And Trey Murphy's in. I think he's a great play. Larry Nance is in. I think he's a fine play. I would like Trey Murphy more. Dyson Daniels in. I think he's a fine play. Like there's so much going on. This game's at 8 p.m. Eastern. Who knows when we get this news? That's why also the first 2 games. Just say we don't get this game at 7 or the news at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's why I think backloading a little bit, waiting for the next 30-minute mark would make some sense, or maybe just playing a piece here or there. AP, if then scenarios, talk about these Pelicans, and all I'll say is Tyrese Halliburton. Wally Szczerbiak lit even a little fire that he didn't even need to be lit under Tyrese, and the dude just keeps doing it. I think he's definitely my favorite run back. If you're playing all these Pelicans, I think Miles Turner is also interesting, though. Break down this game.
Yeah, I mean, a full stack of this game is very much in play. I mean, her like a lot of people don't think about that too. Like, think about the defensive pieces that are already out. Herb Jones, one of their best defenders. That's going to bring a lot of pieces into play on the Indy side, and not many people are going to play them. The safest way is just to play Tyrese Halliburton with the Pel side stacked up. I mean, that's a perfectly fine way to do it. No one's going to want to hear this, but we got another flowchart play in bigs against this Pacers team. Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to go there. All right. So in all seriousness, the guy is so tilting.
Is he going to get me 12 or 60?
If you don't, title. If you don't want to tilt him, if you don't want to play him, you could play Jackson Hayes, 3,500 off the bench. The other problem is we got Hernan Gomez too that could factor into the mix. So while like the Pelicans don't have many dudes, it is kind of a frustrating center rotation in one of the better center matchups. So it's going to create an interesting situation. So like my rule with Jonas Valanciunas is like on the other slate, when I knew he was going to be 60% owned, obviously like it was a nut spot, a good core play you could build around, but that guy at 60% owned, oh man, if he just tilts me, it is what it is. So I faded him. I went a different route. But if he's going to be lower owned, especially coming off a game where he tilted everyone, I think in tournaments I'm going to have some interest. Just because if you catch it right, kind of like what the Bucks did, which was interesting. I mean, Tyler, you watched that game, right? They left him like wide open. It was insane, and he was hitting threes. I mean, he was doing everything. So I mean, the Pacers probably aren't going to do that. So I mean, there are reasons to fade him. The price tag 6,700, but we do want Larry Nance in there. It would make it an easier fade if Larry Nance Jr. did play, but he's questionable and he hasn't played in at least like a week and a half, I believe. So it is a true questionable situation. One we're gonna have to watch for the news for sure. But CJ McCollum, such a phenomenal play in this spot, 8,600. He's gonna get all the usage. He's been balling. Put up a 70 piece against the Spurs. Put up a 56 piece against the Bucks. Almost 50 against OKC. He's firmly in play. And then I love running it back with Tyrese Halliburton as well. And then, anyone who starts, it's going to be one of those things, whoever the starters are, because we're probably going to get more news that people are ruled out. All of them are in play in this matchup. So we need the news.
I mean, absolutely, we need the news. If these guys are all like Jose Alvarado starts, love Jose Alvarado. Jackson Hayes somehow starts, would love Jackson Hayes.
I'll play him either way. I love Jose Alvarado. No, Jose Alvarado. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you need the news in this one. I mean, if all 3 of those questionable tags are in, Yeah, I mean, Trey Murphy would be a great play. I mean, Hoop, try and break it down as best you can. It's important.
Yeah, it comes down to, who's in or out. I kind of think a lot of these guys that are questionable end up playing, but we definitely need to see. It's another reason if at 7 Eastern we don't have the news, you can easily just wait, because there's going to be some really, really good plays on this Pelican side. The one guy we don't need to wait on is CJ McCollum, who I think is one of the best plays on the slate tonight. I mean, they're projected, it's a 234 total. Pelicans favored by 2.5. CJ McCollum is going to be able to shoot as many times as he wants, all the usage in the world. He could easily be the highest scorer on the slate, and he's 8.6K and then like 8 point something on FanDuel. I mean, just a phenomenal play. Valanciunas, you know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, the minutes, you never really know, but he has the upside to absolutely go off. All these other guys, Daniels, Murphy, Marshall, Alvarado, we got to see who's in or out, but they're all going to be solid options. But the one thing we know for sure, CJ McCollum, I absolutely love him tonight. And then for the Pacers, the only bring back for me is going to be Halliburton. I get the Miles Turner thing, but I prefer other centers. So it's just going to be Halliburton, and definitely feel good about him. I mean, he can just absolutely go off. He has been. So Halliburton, McCollum, and then all these secondary pieces, as long as they're in the game, they're going to be in my player pool tonight.
Absolutely. Dr. Lucky and Chad said Dyson Daniels popping in Saber. Yeah, I mean, if he's in, he's going to probably start at shooting guard. He's 3.2K. Dyson Daniels makes a lot work for your team. I mean, we're talking Paul George. We talked about Tyrese Halliburton in this one. Tyler Hero 9-1. There's a lot of a couple spend ups on this slate that are in pretty good spots. CJ's pretty expensive. We get to this late game. There's LaMelo. There's some decent spend ups. Dame at 9-9. 3.2K can make a lot work in your lineup and get you multiple studs. So would definitely like Dyson Daniels if he is starting. Got one game left on this slate. Again, this one's at 10 p.m. Eastern, 2 hours after the last game we just talked about. 6:30 watching, 200 likes though. Gonna need 300. Can't be short today. We should easily be able to get 300. Haven't asked too much. Last game though, AP and Hoop will break it all down. Let's hit that like button, hit that big red subscribe button, please, so we can get you the plays of the day. Last game, Charlotte Hornets, Portland Trailblazers, 237.5 total. Portland is favored by 5. On the Charlotte side, Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable. Nick Richards is doubtful. Going to the Portland side, Justice Winslow's out. Nasir Little is out. So not too much injury news in this one. But, man, high total game, close spread, two teams that don't play much defense. The prices look good on a lot of these guys. Break it down, Hoop. I think there's good plays on both sides.
Yeah, definitely solid options. The Hornets are a little more difficult, I'll say, on DK, where LaMelo Ball is 10-2. Yes, he can pay off 10-2, but I mean, it's a big boy price tag. Over on FanDuel, he's in the 8Ks. I believe he's like 8-9.
8-9, yep.
Yeah, so pretty substantial difference between the two sites. Same with Damian Lillard. Lillard is 9-9 on DK. He's only 9-2 on FanDuel. So overall, I think this game is better on FanDuel. You can definitely play these guys on DK, but the price tags are much, much better on FanDuel. Anthony Simons has a really good price tag, 6.5 on DK, 6.2 on FanDuel. I'm fine with him. I think he's a solid option. Jeremy Grant, that power forward position that we talked about, not a great position. He fills it, 6.9K. I'm good with him. And then Nurkic, center's loaded, but I like Nurkic at 6.2K. Can definitely beat the Hornets with big. So there's solid options for sure in this game. But I will say, I think, better options on FanDuel because of the price tags. I mean, LaMelo Ball 8-9 over there and Lillard 9-2. I kind of like that pairing. I mean, I like doing that with point guards and GPPs. You can get that back and forth between teams, especially with these guys. These guys will be going at it back and forth a little bit. So I like that pairing over there on FanDuel. Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Nurkic, all in play for me here tonight.
Yeah, AP, I got a question about Nurkic because Robert brought it up and I was noticing the same thing. He's been playing 22 minutes, Robert said. Like, it's been the past month, he's cracked 30 minutes like twice. Now, his usage when he's on the court, I mean, if he plays 26 minutes, I will play. I like him at 6.2K. What's going on with the minutes? Can you trust him? What are your thoughts on him and the rest of this game?
Yeah, I mean, when you look into it a little more, like it's almost like him and Drew Eubanks are like in a timeshare. It's crazy. And it's not like Eubanks is crushing or anything like that. So Just a rotational thing. I mean, man, we got another. I think Nurkic. I have him as kind of like a play that you could build around core play type of thing, but the rotation is a concern, man. Like, I just love these bigs against the Hornets so much, a bad rebounding team, which, man, when you think about the Blazers, their best rebounder, Josh Hart, the dude crashes the boards. I think you can play him a small forward, shooting guard over on DraftKings 5,600. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite plays in this game. Should go a little overlooked just when you look at the pricing of like Simons, even Dame, like 9.9 is pretty attractive. And then you got Jeremy Grant, who's going to get should get a lot of ownership too. I think Josh Hart is really interesting just because of how bad of a rebounding team the Hornets are. And he's one of their better rebounders. So, I mean, if you just look at it, the dude is constantly getting 8, 9, 10 plus rebounds every single game. Not a volume shooter, but he's been very efficient with his shots. So I think it could be a game where maybe he cracks 40 plus DK points and will be pretty low owned. Outside of that, it's not like his ceiling is anything too great. So you're really banking on scoring and rebounding. So good spot, I think, for Josh Hart. Nurkic, I think, is going to be a really good tournament play that I like. And then on the other side, man, LaMelo Ball, again, another guard that you can play, that you can run it back with. This game, 237.5 total, could be an absolute, late game hammer spot to target. So Terry Rozier, finally a nice price tag, $7K. He chucks, and the problem is he hasn't been hitting his shots except for against the Lakers last game. He finally had a nice game. So maybe like having LaMelo Ball back is taking some pressure off of Terry Rozier, because he was their primary ball handler there for the longest stretch with LaMelo Ball out. Now he can work off ball a little bit. Obviously, it seems to be helping his game some. So Terry Rozier, really interesting. LaMelo Ball, obvious if you're stacking this game up.
That is all 7 games on the slate. I just had to refresh the YouTube to make sure that the likes were actually, I was like, they have to be lagging. This can't be right. Man, it's hurtful. I'll ask these guys a question here or there. Give yourself another minute. Got to hit that like button, though, if you guys want the plays of the day. Broke down the 7-game slate, had some fun. The Christmas mood. No giving the likes, though, in this Christmas spirit. That's a little hurtful. Try and get 300. We did have a question earlier. AP, I'll go to you on this one. Jordan Clarkson, Jalen Green, or Terry Rozier?
That's a good question.
That's what I said. I look at them pretty much all the same. Like, if I already am if I'm playing LaMelo, I'm not playing Rozier. If I'm playing Conley, then I'm not going to play Clarkson. Like, if I don't have anyone on the team or a run back, like, do you have anyone have a lean though? Because I really didn't. I thought they're all the same guys pretty much today.
I mean, man, I would rank it probably Clarkson, Green, and then Terry Rozier.
Clarkson, Green, Rozier. All right, there you go. And then what was the final decision on Joe Val? AP, you said he's not going to be popular today. He's not going to be 60%. Yeah, does that mean you jump on him?
So if he's alone, again, that's where
it looks like.
Yeah, that's where I want to play him. I know he can bust my lineups, and I know it's all right. So what everyone says is, if he beats me, he beats me. I live with the result. Well, if no one plays him, then you get all the leverage in the world. So I mean, I'd rather be on that side. So when he's not popular, I like him. When he's popular, I typically avoid him. Yeah,
unless if Larry Nance is out, his ownership goes up a little bit. Man, 6-7 at that.
I was hoping Zion would play because Zion would just crush this matchup, but unfortunately he's out.
Yeah, unfortunately he is. Any other question? The likes you got,
and you got Herb. You got more than just that. You got multiple other pieces out here too. So
yeah,
he has to be more involved. And he's one of those guys where it's like with the Bucks, they left him open. He started hitting some shots. He got more aggressive. And then every other part of his game then fell into place. And that's how he put up a 70 piece? I mean,
73.
Yeah.
He goes from 73 to 32 to 18. I mean, man, and before the 73, 23, 20, 26, 19. Yeah, you very well could have a snowflake, or you could break the slate for you, and he's on, and you got all the money just because of Joe Val. So, man, the likes are hurtful. We tried buy some time, 276 over 600 watch. That's not going to cut it, unfortunately. Big prize pools, though. We'll drop the plays of the day in the Discord. NFL Showdown, monster prize pools. Should be a fun game. If you want to tail the Chargers, Hoop said he got a pretty good bet on them, so he likes that. Check out his daily assist video. Check out the guys that broke down the Showdown show earlier. All the content will be out for NBA. As always, big T player pool on both sites. Up to lock show tonight for NBA. Hopefully we get some news on that show. Core plays, cash chart, all of that will be up as always. Hope everybody has a good week. New Year's coming up. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Anyone in the best ball street still alive in the last week, good luck to you. Should be a fun week. A lot of money
to you in
the
best ball streets title.
Thank you. A lot of money to be made tonight. Showdown title. Showdown NBA. Good luck to everyone still alive out there. That's going to do it for us, though. Hit that like button. Hit that big red subscribe button on the way out. Head over to Unpeer Sports. Get in the Discord. Ask all the questions. Check out all the content. We appreciate it. For Hoop, AP, Simon Behind the Sticks, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.